What's going on, everybody? And today is Friday, which means it is vendor reset day, and I am back on the Division. I haven't been playing as much of this. I've been playing more of Horizon Zero Dawn and Rainbow Six Siege, but this week has a little bit of a surprise for us with the vendor reset, so I thought I'd go ahead and do the video for you guys this week for sure. So this week at the Blueprints, we have a lightweight M4. This is definitely something that you want to pick up, no doubt about it. It's 1,082 Phoenix credits, not that hard to get with Last Stand being the way it is, and you can still farm Clear Sky and the other incursions. You also have a surplus SVD. Both of these I highly recommend you buy as soon as possible. The surplus SVD is going to be very helpful with all of your Deadeye builds that you guys might be making. Right here, it is a 182. It's very cheap on the Phoenix credits. And you also have a black market AK-74. But the big one that I want to show you guys is going to be this MP5 ST. Now the big thing about the MP5 ST is you can actually put a large optic on it. There's also a custom P416 G3, which is an assault rifle. It's just like the M4, except it's a little bit different in its recoil pattern and its damage. So definitely pick up both of these, or maybe even the Alpha Bridge chest if you really want to go into that route of building. Moving right along to the special equipment vendor down in the terminal as well, we have a Liberator with responsive, prepared, and adept. It's actually a very good role. The difference between the Super 90 and the SASG is that the Super 90 in the front of the base at the weapons vendor, we have a MP5 ST with determined, predatory, dominant, not a good role. We also have a quick release magazine with reload speed, crit hit damage, and magazine size, not very good there either. Right next door at the gear vendor, what we have is we have a pair of cunning gloves. We also have an electronics mod with crit hit chance. I would pass on both of them. Alright, moving right along to Autumn's Hope in the top left, what we have here is we have a sturdy holster with reload speed. We also have an electronics mod with skill power, so if you do need electronics mods with skill power, you can pick this one up for sure. Alright, moving right along to the Wolves Den safe house at the top left, right underneath the new incursion. What we have is a Lavoa with fierce, unforgiving, destructive, a very good roll on a Lavoa right here. It's got good base damage, it's got good enemy armor damage. You can reroll Fierce to Responsive, and this would be a very, very good Lavoa. I would highly recommend picking one of these up if you still need a good Lavoa roll. We also have a mini Reflex sight with crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and stability. I would pass. Alright, moving right along to the Dante's Run safe house. What we have here is a Steadfast holster, and we have a performance gear mod with first aid self-heal. If you still need first aid self-heal performance mods, go ahead and pick up a couple. At the Kerman Station safe house this week, what we have for sale is we have a custom L86 with self-preserved, swift, and brutal. Not a very good roll. We also have a high velocity magazine with no rate of fire, so it is pretty much a useless magazine for us. Moving right along to the Cavern safe house. This week we have a rehabilitated mask with skill power. We also have an electronics mod with all resistance. Moving on to the two vendors down in Camp Hudson, what we have first at the weapons vendor is a black market SASG with vicious, brutal, swift. Not a bad roll right here. I would actually pick one of these up if you still need a pretty good SASG, aka sausage, and reroll swift to whatever talent you would want. They also have an extended magazine with reload speed, rate of fire, and magazine size. Very good one. However, the one at the base was a lot better at the advanced weapon vendor. Right next door to Camp Hudson's weapon vendor, we have the gear vendor, and the gear vendor is selling a rehabilitated mask with an absolutely terrible roll and a firearms mod with firearms and 2.5 exotic damage resilience. I would definitely pick up a few of these if you are tired of getting one-shotted by seeker mines. I am working on a build right now where I do a lot of DPS and I can take shots from seeker mines no problem. I would actually pick one of these up for sure if you definitely are tired of the seeker mines. Moving right along to the Meat Locker safe room in the bottom left near the DZ. What we have is we have a police T821 with responsive, determined, sustained, not a very good roll. We also have an ACOG sight with accuracy, optimal range, and crit hit chance. Moving right along to Madison Stand near the south side of the DZ. What we have is we have a rapid chest piece, not a very good roll. We also have a firearms mod with health, so if you want to do a little bit more firearms but still be tanky, this would be the firearms gear mod for you. Alright, on to the last call safe room, and what we have this week is a double barrel sawed-off with unforgiving accurate sustained, not a very good roll, and a heavy magazine spring, not something that we want. This week at the Ward vendor, what we have is a pair of Prosperous knee pads, which I already talked about, and a performance mod with turret duration. This week at the Southpaw Safe House, what we have is a recovered holster and a firearms gear mod, again with exotic damage resilience, and this one is actually better, so refrain from the one that I already told you down at Camp Hudson, pick up this one instead. Moving right along to the Grindhouse Safe House, what we have is a military M9 pistol, not something that we're interested in, and an angled grip with not a very good roll. At the Firewall Safe House this week, what we have is a pair of decisive gloves, not a very good roll. However, they do have pistol damage on them, so you could reroll LMG damage to crit hit chance or skill haste, and they would be good for our pistol build, but I would refrain from buying them. We have a firearms gear mod again. Alright, and at the last of the safe houses this week, up here at the crypt, what we have is a double barrel shotgun and an EXP S3 holographic sight. Alright, moving on to the DZ vendors, and don't forget we have extra ones up here in the higher DZ, but we're going to start right here at Park Avenue, and what he has for sale is a snub-nosed rhino, an AUG A3 Para, not a very good roll, an ACR, a double barrel sawed-off, a police MK17, and an infantry MG5. None of these are very good rolls. And now, since this patch, I can now fast travel to another safe house without having to exit and get in combat. Yay! As long as all these people would stay off of the checkpoint. B-Money, Mark, Blinn, get off. There we go. Moving right along to this checkpoint up in the DZ, what we have for sale this week is a Tenacious Mask, a Vigorous Chest Piece, very good roll actually with exotic damage resilience, enemy armor damage, and its firearms. You could reroll the minor attribute or reroll the major attribute to whatever you would like. This would actually be a very good pickup if you still need a Vigorous Chest Piece. And since it is new, and since it is a Vigorous Chest Piece after the patch, you can actually roll skill haste on it as well if you would prefer. A Resourceful Backpack, accomplished knee pads, a sturdy holster, and savage gloves with actually a pretty decent roll. You can reroll the main stat to whatever you would like. However, they do have enemy armor damage, SMG damage, and crit hit chance on them, so they're actually a pretty decent roll. Alright, at East 61st Street this week, the DZ vendor, what we have is a high velocity mag, a large suppressor, a small grip with reload speed, stability, and crit hit damage. You might want to pick this up if you don't have a small grip with crit hit damage on it, so this might be something worth investing in for you. We also have an MK4 large scope, not very good. Alright, moving right along to the East 64th Street, what this DZ vendor has for sale this week is he has a electronics mod with exotic damage resilience. We also have a first aid ally heal performance mod, not very good. Alright, we went ahead and stepped into the DZ this week, a little out of order, but this is the DZ vendor all the way up in DZ9, and what he has for sale is a quick release magazine, a flash hider, a hand stop, and a holographic sight, none of which are very good. There is also another vendor up here that is actually the special vendor, and they have a Firecrest mask, a D3 FNC vest with a pretty decent roll on it with ammo, enemy armor damage, and stamina. Reroll all resistance to whatever you would like, and this would actually be a very good chest piece. We have a Banshee's backpack, knee pads of the Nomad, a Hunter's Faith holster with almost perfect armor roll. It's only missing 1 point on armor, so very good pickup here if you're wanting to do a Hunter's Faith build. And we have Final Measure gloves that are not very good. Alright, moving right along to the DZ vendor up in DZ8. What we have for sale here is we have a rejuvenated mask, a forceful vest piece, a inventive backpack, a prosperous knee pads, a sturdy holster, and astute gloves, all of which are not very good. We also have another vendor, if I can get around these stupid stairs. We have a Dark Zone special vendor, which has a Deadeye mask, pretty good roll. It's got firearms, increased kill XP is not very good, but if you still need a Deadeye mask, this would be a good pickup. Just reroll the major attribute to whatever you would like, and it would still work. We also have a D3 FNC vest, a Firecrest backpack, a Deadeye knee pads, a Striker holster, and Sentry gloves. Alright, making our way back to the checkpoints on the East 53rd Street in DZ6. What we have is a classic FAL, a refreshed mask with actually a pretty good roll. Just reroll the main stat to whatever you'd like, and this would actually be a pretty good refresh mask with crit hit chance on it. We also have a performance mod with 4.5 ballistic shield damage resilience and an angled grip. Moving right along to East 46th Street in DZ5, what we have is a custom PF45 pistol with Toxic on it, Prosperous knee pads, a performance mod with support station duration, and an Omega rifle suppressor with headshot damage, stability, accuracy. I would pass on this as it's missing crit hit chance and crit hit damage. Next up, we have East 42nd Street, and what he is selling is an AUG A3 Para, a rapid chest piece, a stamina gear mod with crit hit chance, and a muzzle brake. Down here at East 40th Street, what we have for sale here is a military M870 with swift, deadly, talented, a gunslinger, a sturdy holster, a performance gear mod with seeker mine explosion radius, and a heavy magazine spring. At East 34th Street, what we have this week is a PP19 with unforgiving, accurate, hurried, a forceful chest piece, a firearms gear mod with skill power, and a PEQ-15 laser. Down here at East 31st Street, down at the bottom right, we have an AK-47, decisive gloves, a performance gear mod with seeker mine damage, so if you really want to do a seeker mine build, I would pick up a couple of these for sure, and you have a quick release magazine. Down here at the very bottom at 5th Avenue, what we have for sale this week is a snub-nosed rhino, a refreshed mask, performance gear mod with support station duration, and a rugged mini reflex sight. Alright, moving on to the west side of the DZ, starting with the 31st Street. What we have here is a military L86, a resourceful backpack, a stamina gear mod with exotic damage resilience, so you might want to keep that in mind if you're doing a tanky build. Also, we have a C79 scope. If you're running Deadeye, this is one of the scopes that you would really want because you can scope in with it, and it's almost like a red dot sight, and it's got crit hit damage on it, so definitely pick this up if you're running a Deadeye build. Moving right along on the left side, the west side of the DZ at West 34th Street, we have an SASG with unforgiving, swift, and accurate, a rejuvenated mask, and a performance gear mod with ballistic shield health, and an MK5 scope. Alright, here at West 39th Street, what we have for sale is a PX4 Storm pistol, Savage gloves with crit hit chance, SMG damage, and skill haste. Very good SMG Savage gloves. Just reroll skill haste to crit hit damage, and you would have a god roll Savage gloves for SMGs. We also have a performance gear mod with turret health and a reflex sight. Moving right along to West 42nd Street, what we have for sale is a classic M60, astute gloves, a performance gear mod with turret duration, and an ACOG scope. At the West 46th Street Dark Zone vendor this week, we have a PX4 pistol again with Toxic on it, Prosperous knee pads, a stamina gear mod with signature ability resource gain, and a flash hider. And at the last of the DZ checkpoint vendors up here at West 53rd, what we have for sale is a converted SMG-9, a rehabilitated mask, an electronics gear mod, and a small suppressor. Alright, moving right along to the DZ6 safe room. What she has for sale this week is a Banshee Shadow mask with a pretty decent roll if you want to run Banshee. Just reroll the main stat to whatever you would like. She also has a vest of the Nomad, a backpack of the Nomad, Banshee knee pads, a Firecrest holster, and tactician gloves. Alright, here at the DZ5 safe room, what we have here is a quick release magazine, a compensator, a vertical grip, and improved iron sights. Alright, moving right along to the DZ4 safe room, what she has for sale this week is a firearms gear mod with health and a performance gear mod with ballistic shield health. Alright, moving right along to the DZ3 safe room at the weapon vendor, a police magnum with toxic, a vector with competent, determined, brutal, an AK-47, a Super 90, an M700, and an MG5. Alright guys, last but not least, we are in DZ2 safe room. What they are selling is a refreshed mask, a reckless chest piece with actually a pretty good roll. I'm actually going to be picking one of these up for a build that I'm working on. A resourceful backpack, a prosperous knee pads, steadfast holster, and decisive gloves. So that is everything this week, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. We are almost to 1,000 subscribers, and we have been given the opportunity, or at least I have been. At 1,000 subscribers, we are going to be doing a upper echelon t-shirt giveaway provided by UE Manny. I thank you a bunch, good sir. hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Sorry it was such a long video, but there's a lot of new vendors and everything that we have to go through. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Also, in the comments below, I'm actually starting to transition over to other games. So if there's anything in particular gaming-wise that you guys would like to see, let me know. I'm kind of just getting burnt on Division. I've been playing a lot of Rainbow Six Siege lately. I still have to beat Horizon Zero Dawn. But if you guys want to see more of the Division, let me know that as well. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good one, everybody.